You've tried everything: rosemary oil, biotin, anti-hair loss shampoo, that expensive serum that promised to transform your scalp in 30 days. And yet, you're still here, looking in the mirror, watching your hair thin more and more. Is it genetic? Is it just time passing? Or is there something no one is telling you? Today I'm going to show you why hair continues to fall out after 50, even when you've tried everything on the market. And more importantly, I'm going to explain what's really happening deep inside, in the scalp, where no shampoo or supplement can reach. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to discover will completely change the way you take care of your hair from now on. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now. Every day we bring you content based on real science, without fads or empty promises. Click the subscribe button and activate the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming. And she saw for the first time what others may have been seeing for months, her scalp showing on the top of her head. Maria did what anyone would do. She researched, she bought, she tried. She went through 3 different shampoo brands, 2 types of biotin, imported pure rosemary oil, a hydrolyzed collagen that cost a fortune, and even followed an 8-step routine she found in a viral video. The result? 6 months later, her hair was still falling out. She felt humiliated, angry, and with a terrible feeling that maybe there was nothing more she could do. But Maria wasn't doing anything wrong in what she was trying. The problem was that she, like most people, was treating the symptoms and completely ignoring the root cause. And this root cause has a name. Before I reveal this mechanism to you, I need to ask you a direct question. Did you know that the hair follicle, that tiny structure on the scalp where the hair grows, has a life cycle? And that after age 50, this cycle begins to be sabotaged from the inside in ways that no topical product can reverse on its own. This is where most conversations about hair loss go terribly wrong. They talk about nutrition, products, and massage. But almost no one talks about what researchers at Harvard University in 2021 called hair stem cell niche aging. In real-life terms, as you age, the cells responsible for renewing the hair follicle begin to lose their ability to communicate with each other. They literally become confused. And when the follicle loses this internal communication, it shrinks, progressively, until the hair that comes out of it becomes thinner, weaker, and shorter, until one day it stops coming out completely. This is not weakness, it's not carelessness, it's biology, and it's reversible, but not in the way they told you. It prolongs the hair growth phase, which scientists call the anagen phase, and maintains a more balanced scalp environment. When estrogen levels drop during perimenopause and menopause, this shield disappears. And what happens when the shield disappears? DHT takes over. DHT is a modified form of testosterone. Yes, women produce it too, and it has a devastating effect on genetically sensitive hair follicles. It binds to receptors in the follicle and literally instructs that structure to shrink. Less space, thinner hair, shorter growth cycle. But, and this is the point that most people don't know, DHT doesn't act alone. It acts much more strongly when the scalp is inflamed. And this is where everything starts to make sense. I'm not talking about visible inflammation, like severe redness or a wound. I'm talking about a silent, microscopic inflammation that spends years destroying the environment around the follicles, and that most people don't even know they have. A study published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology showed that in patients with androgenetic alopecia, the most common type of hair loss, there were elevated inflammatory markers around the miniaturized follicles. In other words, where the hair was falling out, inflammation was present, not as a consequence, but as a cause. Think of it this way. Imagine the hair follicle is a plant in a pot. DHT is like someone replacing the good soil with sand. But inflammation? Inflammation is like someone pouring acid into that soil. No seed will grow in that environment, no matter how much you water it. And that's exactly why the products you're using aren't working as they should. You're putting nutrients and active ingredients on top, on the hair strand that's already grown, while down below at the root, the environment is far too hostile for growth. That's the part that will surprise you. Because it doesn't stem from a single thing. It comes from a combination of factors that accumulate silently over the years. And 3 of them, 3 specific mistakes that most people make without realizing it, are actively accelerating this destruction, mistakes that seem harmless. that sometimes even seem like care, and I'll reveal each of them to you in detail later in this video. But first, if this content is making sense to you, tell me in the comments. Have you tried any of these products and not seen results? Write it down below. You'll see you're not alone, and this will help other people understand that the problem isn't with them. And I need you to pay close attention here, because I'm almost certain you're making at least one of these mistakes right now. Not out of carelessness, but because no one has ever explained to you what's really going on. Because the problem isn't how often you wash it. The problem is the product you use and what it does to your scalp's microbiome. Yes, the scalp has a microbiome, just like the gut. A community of microorganisms, bacteria and fungi that live in balance and help maintain a healthy environment. And most commercial shampoos, including many that are sold as anti-hair loss or strengthening, contain sulfates, synthetic fragrances, and preservatives that destroy this balance. When the scalp microbiome is disrupted, a fungus called Malassezia, which naturally lives on the skin in small amounts, begins to proliferate, and Malassezia, in excess, is one of the most documented triggers of parafollicular inflammation. That is, inflammation around the hair follicle. A study published in Frontiers in Microbiology in 2020 found a direct correlation between scalp microbiome imbalance and increased inflammatory markers associated with follicle miniaturization. In simpler terms, wrong shampoo, fungus proliferates, inflammation increases, follicle shrinks, hair thins. And here's the cruel detail. Many people, when they notice the shedding, increase the frequency of washing, thinking they will remove the oil and clean the leather. What they actually do is aggravate the imbalance, worsening the very problem they are trying to solve. I'm not saying you should stop washing your hair. I'm saying that the type of product you use matters much more than the frequency, and that a clean scalp is not the same as a healthy scalp. Before moving on to the second mistake, I need to pause here for a second, because what comes next is probably the most underrated mistake on the list. And when I explain the mechanism behind it, you'll understand why it's so silently destructive. It's not about that. It's about pure biochemistry. When the body is under stress, even the moderate stress of everyday life, constant worries, insufficient sleep, and a never-ending schedule, it releases a substance called cortisol. Cortisol in normal doses is essential. The problem arises when it becomes chronically elevated. So, what does elevated cortisol do to hair? It disrupts the follicle's growth cycle. Literally. Researchers at Harvard University, the same group that studied the aging of hair stem cells, published a study in 2021 showing that cortisol reduces the production of a protein called GAS6, which is essential for activating hair follicle stem cells. Without GAS6, the stem cells enter a dormant state. The follicle stops receiving the signal to grow. In other words, chronic stress literally extinguishes the flame that keeps the follicle active. And here's the point nobody talks about. You don't need to be going through a huge trauma to have chronically elevated cortisol. An exhausting routine, consistently sleeping less than 7 hours, feeling like you never have time to breathe, that's enough. For many women and men over 50, this is the normal state. And hair is being silently sacrificed as a consequence. The worst part, the effect of cortisol on hair has a 2 to 3 month delay. This means that the hair loss you're seeing today could be a result of the stress you experienced earlier in the year. This delay causes people to never connect the dots, and they continue looking for the solution in shampoo when the problem started much earlier. Mistake number 3. You're overloading your scalp with layers and layers of product, and suffocating the follicles that are still active. Rosemary oil, papaya oil, avocado oil, growth serum, anti-hair loss tonic, keratin mask, topical vitamin C, peptides. Each of these products individually may have some scientific evidence. But here's the problem nobody tells you. When you frequently apply multiple oily and heavy products directly to your scalp, you may be creating an occlusive environment. That is, an environment where the hair follicle pore becomes partially blocked. And when the follicle cannot breathe properly, the microcirculation around it is impaired. Less oxygen, fewer nutrients reaching it through the bloodstream, more waste product accumulates. In dermatology, there's a concept called follicular hyperkeratosis, which refers to the accumulation of dead cells and debris around the hair follicle opening. It's exacerbated by the excessive use of products, especially oily ones, without proper scalp exfoliation. And here's the complete paradox. The person notices their hair is falling out. They apply more products. The products accumulate. The follicle becomes more compromised. More hair falls out. The person applies more products. It's a cycle. And it repeats itself month after month while the person believes they are taking care of their hair. I'm not saying all products are useless. I'm saying that more isn't better. And applying active ingredients to the scalp without first preparing the environment to receive them is like watering a plant with compacted soil. The water runs off the surface without reaching the root.
So, to summarize what we've discovered so far, hair thins after age 50 primarily due to a chronic inflammatory environment in the scalp, aggravated by hormonal decline, aging of hair stem cells, and DHT. And 3 silent mistakes are fueling this inflammation every day. Microbiome imbalance caused by harsh products, chronically elevated cortisol that deactivates follicles, and an excess of products that suffocate the scalp's environment.
This explains why so many people try everything and end up in the same place. It's not a lack of effort, it's the wrong direction. And now that you understand the real mechanism, I can show you what really works. This helps the channel bring this content to more people who are going through the same frustration as you. And if you know someone over 50 who is suffering from hair loss, send this video to that person. It might be exactly what they needed to hear. What I'm about to show you isn't a magic formula. It's not a new product. It's not a 10-step routine that will transform your hair in 3 weeks. What I'm going to show you is an approach based on current scientific understanding of follicular environment recovery, built upon everything we've learned so far. Simple, low effort, and with realistic expectations. Because the hair you've lost over the years isn't going to grow back overnight. But the destruction process can be stopped, and in many cases, especially when the follicles are still miniaturized but not dead, recovery is possible, gradual, real, and sustainable. Let's go. First, switch your shampoo to a formula without harsh sulfates and synthetic fragrances. It doesn't have to be the most expensive. It just needs to be the cleanest in formula. Look for shampoos with a pH between 4.5 and 5.5, which is the natural pH of a healthy scalp. Alkaline shampoos, which are the majority of conventional ones, disrupt the microbiome and increase inflammation. This change alone will begin to restore balance. Second, introduce a gentle scalp exfoliation once a week. This can be a scalp scrub with a low concentration of salicylic acid, between 0.5% and 1.5%, or even a gentle mechanical exfoliation with your fingertips. The goal is to remove the buildup of dead cells and product residue around the follicles, allowing the environment to breathe and improving microcirculation. A study published in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology showed that regular scalp exfoliation, combined with massage, increased hair thickness in participants after 24 weeks. It's not magic, it's basic mechanics. An unclogged follicle responds better to any subsequent treatment. 4 minutes a day. Using your fingertips, apply firm but comfortable pressure in circular motions covering the entire scalp, from the nape of the neck to the front, including the sides. It seems too simple to work. But in 2016, Japanese researchers published a study in the journal ePlasty documenting that participants who performed daily 4-minute massages for 24 weeks showed a measurable increase in hair follicle thickness. The mechanism: massage increases local blood flow, which improves the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to the follicle. It also reduces tension in the galea, a fascia that covers the skull and which, when chronically tense, can compress local microcirculation. Yes, scalp tension is real, and many people who spend hours in front of screens with hunched posture and clenched jaws have this tension without knowing it. 4 minutes, every day, no product at all. It works well before showering, and has the added benefit of preparing the scalp to better absorb what comes after. I know you've probably heard of it. But most people don't know that the 2% formulation for women and 5% for men in solution or foam has decades of clinical studies proving its effectiveness in the follicular miniaturization phase. It works by vasodilating the capillaries in the scalp and prolonging the anagen phase of the hair cycle. It's not a cure, but it's the most documented topical active ingredient available for this purpose. If you have any doubts about using it, talk to a dermatologist, especially if you have cardiovascular conditions. The second is rosemary oil, but not in the way it was sold to you. A 2015 study published in the SkinMed journal directly compared rosemary oil to 2% minoxidil in 100 participants with androgenetic alopecia over 6 months. The result was surprising. Both groups had a similar increase in hair count. Rosemary oil works, but it needs to be applied consistently, in the correct concentration, directly to the scalp, not the hair strands. It's not for moisturizing, it's for stimulating. The problem is that most people apply it incorrectly, use the wrong amount, or combine it with so many other products that the effect is diluted or nullified. One active ingredient: consistency, patience. This is a minefield of empty promises and wasted money, so I'll be direct. Biotin, the darling of all hair supplements, has proven benefits only in people with a true biotin deficiency. And biotin deficiency is rare. If you don't have a deficiency, taking biotin probably won't change anything about your hair. What will change is the color of your money. What is the real evidence regarding hair after 50? Iron. Iron deficiency, even without clinical anemia, just with low ferritin, is strongly associated with hair loss in women. A study published in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology showed that ferritin below 40 mg/ml is enough to compromise the hair cycle, even without other symptoms. Get tested. Find out your number. Vitamin D. Vitamin D receptors are present in hair follicles, and vitamin D deficiency has been associated with both androgenetic alopecia and alopecia areata in multiple studies. And vitamin D deficiency is extraordinarily common in adults over 50, especially those who work indoors. Zinc. Involved in protein synthesis and hormonal regulation, zinc has modest but consistent evidence supporting the hair cycle. Zinc deficiency is more common than you might think, especially in people with diets low in animal protein. The message here isn't, take all of this. It's get tested. Find out what's deficient in your body. Correct the real deficiency. Don't waste money on supplements for something that's already normal in your body. But I will tell you this. Sleep is non-negotiable. During deep sleep, the body regulates cortisol, activates cellular repair processes, and releases growth hormone, which plays a direct role in tissue regeneration, including the hair follicle. Less than 6 hours of sleep consistently elevates basal cortisol, reduces local scalp immunity, and compromises precisely the recovery cycle you are trying to activate with all the other steps. If your sleep is poor, no other strategy will work to its full potential. It's the foundation of everything. Number 4. Laboratory tests to identify and correct real nutritional deficiencies. And number 5. Absolute priority given to sleep as a hormonal regulator and natural anti-inflammatory. 5 steps. No 8-product routine, no unnecessary expenses, no miracle promises. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people who keep buying product after product without understanding why it doesn't work. You now understand the mechanism, you know where the problem begins, and you have a clear, science-based path to start changing this environment. Hair regrowth after 50 is possible. Not in all situations, not for all types of hair loss. But for most people who still have miniaturized and not dead follicles, halting the destruction process and creating an environment conducive to growth is something that science has already shown to be achievable. It will take time. The complete hair growth cycle lasts between 3 and 6 months. You won't see results in 2 weeks. But with 6 months of consistency using the right products, many people start to notice thicker hair, less hair loss, and a scalp that simply looks different, healthier, more balanced. And that in itself changes everything. And in the comments, tell me, which of the 3 mistakes do you think you were making without realizing it? Mistake 1, 2, or 3? I really want to read your answer below. And if you want to continue learning about hair health based on real science, the next video that appears on the screen is exactly about that. And it complements everything you learned today. Don't miss it. See you there.